Okay, we're gonna start real soon. Basically, it's just gonna be a bunch of Firefly stuff. It's gonna be summons and artifact farming and the new game mode for her planner ornaments because that's all there is. I started farming some of her stuff already, but my luck has been incredibly bad. For some reason, I'm getting all the stats that I don't need. So we are going to use up all the bank from all the saved up energy or whatever it's called so that I can farm all that materials. I already farm her materials, just the artifacts I don't have. Hey Jess, hey Zodrak, hey Tiari, what's up? Anybody summon Firefly already? No? Are you guys saving for Jade? I don't know if I want Jade more because she's like a follow-up erudition character, which isn't a bad thing. But I saw the 2.4 characters. I don't remember their names. I know one of them is related to Blade. It's like her niece or something. And the other guy is just like that guy who cooks stuff. I don't remember their names. But I saw the drip marketing. And one is a counter type character. And the other is an AoE debuffer. So I hope that, I don't know, I can't decide, but maybe I'll just do some pulls and see what my luck is like. I might need to buy some Welkin Moons. Got 3 copies of her in 30 pulls. What? I'm probably gonna have to go all the way to Pity. Star Rail. I haven't had real good luck with Star Rail pulls. Most of the time, it's always been it's not as bad as my Genshin pulls, but I often have to save up for a character I want. And the only reason I want Firefly is not because of like lore reasons or anything like that. Because I need a fire DPS. I need a 5-star fire DPS. And she works in a super break team, right? So she won't be fighting with too many other buffers and stuff. So alright, let's just move to the transition over to Star Rail. Yeah, she needs, like, she's good with Runmei, but I only use Runmei in like dot teams. So if I don't use a dot team, then that means like Firefly's team's available, and then the other one for MOC I can use somebody like Akron. So it still works. Now, the main question is, where is the best place to summon for Firefly? Is it better to summon in like the place where she first had one of her deaths? Is that a good place? Or is it where she had a third death? I think her third death is out here, right? I don't remember. This place is so confusing. Ow, 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 ow. let's go to the swimming pool because that's where she has her third death. So I hate this place. The layout is so confusing. Hold on, there's a chest.
Feels like there's a lot more to. Don't forget to let your friends in on the action.
What is this musical note? Okay, I'm getting distracted.
I heard the radiant feldspar.
Oh, you can't go into the. Oh, you can go into the pool. I forgot you can't jump in this game. Just playing Wuthering or. Summon in Panicori at the meetup spot. Where is the meetup spot? You mean the place where in the Dreamflux Reef, the one where the watchmaker is? Is that the place? What is that? What is that? Dream bubble? Okay. Let's just do it here and see whether I get any luck. Okay, so what I'm kind of hoping to get is a bit of like Gallagher's Eidolons. I don't know if her. Actually, let me look it up. Let me look up where that spot is. It's fine. I'll just try and summon here because I'm getting anxious. Let's just try a few. Let's see what happens. So I have a bit of I have a few summons, but I don't know if it's enough. Let's see. Let's just do a few first. Because I've been holding up from summoning just to do it on stream. So I've been kinda like, I need to summon for her. Let's just see what my luck is. Also, how do you see the history? I think you can see history, right? I think I have like a few in here. Yeah. I think I have like 15 already in here, still in here. I don't know what I was summoning for. So the count is at 15. Let's see how far I have to go in order to get to. Okay, this is the first 10. I already saw it's nothing. But at least give me like Gallagher. I mean, Gallagher is quite useful in certain teams. So let's see. This is going to be really slow, by the way. I'm not going to skip any of this. Just it's a habit thing. I have too many of this. Okay. A 4-star Litecoin I already have. That's disappointing. So now we're at 25. It took so long to get up to this number. It kind of hurts to just throw so many. 35. Nope. Did not get lucky. This is kind of stressing me out. Now I'm having second thoughts. Is she worth it? Okay, Gallagher. That's fine. I mean, I wanted Gallagher. And Misha. Okay. Don't really care about Misha. It's at Dream's Age. Go to the Stagnant Shadow. Alright, let's go there. Dream's Age. Walk up to the right. Oh, you mean where we first meet her? Okay, I got you. Is it here? I'm not superstitious at all, but somehow I'm still doing this. Oh, okay. Just to see whether we get... Let's see. just to go, like, if you're gonna go all in, let's just go all in. Let's use like the main character. Okay, I'm worried this is gonna trigger something like a story that I should be recording. So let's just summon first. So we are 35 summons in. Let's see whether the spot has any magical properties that will immediately get me Firefly. Alright, come on. Nope. This is 45. I got one Gallagher Eidolon already, so that's fine. I mean, the other 4-star that I would ideally like to get is Shui. With all the super break stuff, I think she's pretty decent now. Okay. Don't think I need that light cone. So this is 45. I am 45 summons in. Let's go for 55. Okay, I don't know if... Alright, okay, I didn't see that correctly. I thought that was a 5-star. I think I have like E6 Misha already. Okay, at least I got one Shui. That's fine. Getting a lot of double 4 stars. Alright, that's fine. Now I'm at 55. Is it... Okay, this should be 65. So I'm getting up to soft pity. I always have to go all the way to soft pity whenever it comes to summons. No, it's not. This is 65. No, it's not. It's a bunch of 4 stars. Oh, okay. That one's not too bad. Yes, action forward, I think. Okay, this is soft pity. So there's only 2 times that I've ever gotten more than 1 5-star. In Star Rail, I think I got... I don't remember who, but I think it was like Black Swan and Clara. And when I summoned for Arlecchino, that's when I got like 2 Arlecchinos. That's the only time I've ever gotten anything. So I'm at like I have 100 summons left, and this is gonna be 75. And I have a feeling this is just gonna be disappointing. Screw it. Let's just do it. I don't wanna Okay, there's a 5-star at 75. But whether it's Firefly... I really hate summons. It's all this. Alright, that's the end of the stream. I'm just kidding. Alright, let's go. Let's see what we get. Oh, damn. I just noticed there's cats in his thing. Huh. I wonder whether there's anything to do with Elio. Okay, sorry. Let's continue with the... Oh no! What? Ah! I already have E1 Bronya, so this is like E2 Bronya. Ah, that's disappointing. I already have I think it's E2 Bronya. Now it's E2 Bronya, and then I have her light cone already, so it's like that's just sad. I knew this was gonna happen. It's fine. No, it's just 1 5-star because we got Bronya all the way towards the end. Okay, now the difficult question is, should I just blow everything into this in order to get Firefly? Okay, I know I'm not gonna be summoning Jade, but But I kind of wanted to save a little bit for the next one. I don't want to start swiping my cards. This is really bad. Okay, you know what? Let's change the location and see whether that. Let's change the location because I'm not getting a lot of luck here. Hey Chad, how are you doing? Okay, let's go. Let's go to somewhere. Let's go somewhere different.
Where to now?
I think there's like a different oops, sorry. You can go down here. And there's this thing, right? Alright, let's try it here. Anybody know how to get that one? Okay, never mind. Okay, let's try it here. I'll throw a few in. I'm not gonna just blow everything off on this one, but you know, maybe we get lucky on the first few summons and I don't have to go all the way to like soft pity. For those of you who just joined, I did not win the 50-50 because clearly streamer's luck is nothing but a myth. It doesn't exist. Oh, use Natasha. Okay. Oh yeah, I can use characters that should. Okay. I didn't know that. Good to know. Thank you. But before we do that, let's just continue doing some summons. So I guess we're starting off at 10 again. Let's see. I'll probably do maybe like until 40 or 50 and then I'll stop because I'll just get depressed. Because now it's a guarantee, right? So I know that the minute I get to soft PT, I will get Firefly. So let's just throw a few. Okay, so it's not a 5-star. Not really surprising. It's just the first 10 summons. I got too many of these. Okay, at least I got another Shui. That's fine. Anybody know if E6 Shui is good? I doubt I'll get Firefly. I pulled Fushuan the day before Firefly because I didn't already have her. Yeah, one of my friends pulled for Fushuan like right before her banner ended. And I think he tried pulling for Firefly today, but somehow Clara came out. I mean, Clara's still good. But I didn't think I needed Fushuan because I summoned for Aventurine. So Fushuan's good. It's just I didn't feel I needed her. Anyways, let's continue with this. I'm really gonna have to skip Jade if I'm going. The only issue is that hold on. I'm just hold on. The only reason why I want Firefly is because there aren't a lot of fire DPS characters. Like if Destruction, there's only Hook. Hunt, there's like Topaz, who I don't have. And then Erudition, you have like Himeko. There's like not a lot of fire DPS. So that's kind of why I want to just get Firefly, and it kind of just fills out the roster. If I need a fire DPS, then I have that character. That's really the only reason why I'm going for Firefly. But yeah, I don't have her. That's why I don't have a fire DPS. That's the main reason. Anyways, let's continue summoning. At least give me an early 5-star, like at 30 or something. I already threw 75 in. Come on. Why you gotta do this game? Why do you have to... Okay, now I'm getting a lot of Shui. It'd be nice to get some Gallagher. Actually, no, it'll be nice to get Firefly. Where's Firefly? This is really painful. The minute you see it go below 5 digits is just really sad. Nope, I'm gonna have to go all the way to PT. Has everyone finished the main story for 2.3's main story? What do you guys think of the ending? Like how they wrapped up Penacony. That's what I mean. I have like E20 Misha at this point. Misha is basically my Barbara. Okay, this is like 30 summons in. I already lost the 50-50, so this is gonna be 40 summons. Nope, it's still not. I'm gonna have to go to 70. I'm gonna have to buy like Welkin Moon after this or something, just to rebuild my stock. I know I'm not gonna be able to summon for Jade, but I wasn't planning on summoning for her anyways. Of course. Getting a lot of light cones today. I don't know. I liked how Penacony's story was like 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. Because there was a lot of these things that felt like they were being built up. People really hate Jade. No. It's just I want a fire DPS. Jade is fine. Like she's not, I don't think she's bad or anything. It's just my account needs Firefly, fire DPS. And yeah, for some reason a lot of people really like Firefly. But anyways, talking back about the ending, I felt like there were a lot of build up that just kind of abruptly ended. Like Firefly's third death. It felt kind of like meh. And then you have, I know like Silver Wolf, if nobody knows this, then cover your ears or something. But I know Silver Wolf was the one that hired who's this? Sparkle to do all those things, and I was kind of hoping that Sparkle had a bigger role to play. I was more hoping that the Masked Fools had like we could learn a bit more about what they do and why they do what they do. So some of the endings were a little bit disappointing. Like Sunday's ending and Robin's ending was fine. Like I liked the fact that, you know, they had to pay for their crimes, blah blah blah. But it felt like they just wanted to end it. And it, like, going from 2.0 to 2.2, it was built up and all that stuff. And it was like, I wish there was a bit more. I don't know, like, there's still a lot of patches in the 2.0 major patch schedule, right? So there might be other things that we learn later on. But for now, it just feels a little bit abrupt. Hey Mob, how are you doing? You're just joining at a time where we are being destroyed by the wish because I'm not getting anything. Okay, I got it. At like what was that? Like 70 plus 50, 135 summons. Now we got Firefly. This has to be Firefly, right? Like, it's a guarantee. Like, if I get, I don't know, Clara or something and the game bugged, I'm gonna quit this whole game. At least now we own a ship. Yeah, but it's like, it's such a weird thing to ask for. I was really expecting the family was gonna be the same as Shanzo, the Shanzo Alliance, where they just tell you like, oh, we'll come to your aid. But it's like, oh, here you go, it's a ship that you can only use in the dreamscape. Even when I win, like, not win, as in like, even when I get Firefly, this guy still appears. Like, he doesn't even exist. Why does he keep appearing? He's a... forget it. I'm not... It's such a weird thing to rage about. Alright, yeah, here we go. We at least got Firefly after throwing like 140 summons into this. Was it 140 summons? No, it's 125. I mean, I'm just consoling myself saying like, oh, I need a fire DPS. I was kind of hoping some miracle was gonna happen where I get like multiple copies or something, but that's not gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, I got what I wanted, so that's fine. So now we have like 6,000, which is not a lot. Yeah, it's like 40 summons, so I'm gonna have to like save up a lot for the next. I think every kind of patch we get, I think like about 70, right? 60 to 70 worths of summons. So with Welking, I can probably get up to like 100 or 120 pretty soon. Yeah. If you didn't know, this whole stream is just gonna be everything Firefly related. It's gonna be just farming relics and shit. And I knew this was gonna happen because my luck with relics has been completely bad. But let's just level her up first. Where is she? Oh, hold on. Let me just throw in some of these Eidolons. Since we got like so many of this.
Under the 10 lords as a judge of souls, I come to the world of the living to enforce their will.
I don't know. If I were to summon for characters, I normally go for their light cones rather than Eidolons. But I know some characters are like completely broken with certain Eidolons. If I'm not mistaken, hers is like E2 is really good, right? It gives you another extra turn when you kill something. So, and the first one is like ignore defense. How many did I get for Gallagher? I only got one. That's so sad. I was hoping to get like Gallagher up to like, I don't know, E4 or something, but I didn't. And I got like a bunch of Shuei ones. And I got a bunch of Misha ones. I already have Misha at E. I wonder whether this was like a hint that he was supposed to be from inside the memory bubble thing. That's where he came from. E1 is crazy, makes her so easy to play. What does the E1 do again? When using the enhanced skill, ignores 50%. The enhanced skill does not consume a skill point. Yeah. I did hear that her skill point usage is... She's like super hungry for them. And I know that if you get above a certain speed, you basically have like 4 turns with her, which means she's gonna just eat up all those skill points. So I'm hoping that's not too big of a deal if I don't have E1. But I think it's not a big deal. I don't think it's gonna be like on Imbibitor Lune's level of SP usage, right? She's not gonna be like drinking all of that up. Okay, so I'm gonna give her this one, which Imbibitor Lune is using. I don't think I have any other ones that's decent. Plus this is a 5-star one and he has a lot of attack. So we're just going to equip that on her. And let's level her up. I think I have all her resources.
The final stop is close.
So let's just speed through all this. And then just level her up real quick. Eidolons are kind of bait because power creep is real. Yeah, I mean, like when Acheron really... But that's why I think certain characters do like a little bit better with their light cones. Oh, hold on. I forgot about her. Oh wait, I don't have E1. 50% chance of recovering 1 skill point. It's not a bad thing actually.
Future of Belobog shines bright.
Plus I have her light cone, so I can kind of generate skill points. Okay, pretty good. Yeah, but I think like certain characters like Acheron's light cone like does so much for her. I don't know if this is ever going to be useful for any other character outside of just a flat stat stick for... Because there's not a lot of Nihility straight up DPS characters anyways. But this does so much for Acheron that, you know, I felt it was like worth going. Plus I really like Acheron's design. Anyways, this is about Firefly. Let's not talk about Acheron. Why are we talking about Acheron? Oh wait, I might run out of this. Oh, it's fine, I can make more.
Final stop is close.
I have E0 and haven't had any SP? Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's good to know because I thought there was going to be a lot of issues with her SP, but I've I've trialed a few characters, and she seems fine. Like it's not like on Imbibitor Lunis level, like I said. So she's probably
The final stop.
it's probably gonna be fine. Yes, I have been farming for her level up materials the minute I saw she was gonna be summonable. So let's throw a bit of this inside. I don't know why the auto add doesn't add like the highest one. I guess they just use up the less one, the lower ones first. Also, good thing is I won on Ruanme's Light Cone. What does Ruanme's Light Cone do? I hardly ever go for Light Cones. Why am I not just auto? Oh, okay, that's why I don't auto. That's great. Okay, I have enough.
The final
Hey, she's 80 now. Let's just max it out. I don't usually max characters out to 80 unless like I know they're gonna be a staple on my team. Let's do 75. 75 is enough. I got some of this. How many of this do I have? I just need one more to do a 10 summon. Okay. So I did pre-farm a bit of her relics. But I have had terrible luck with her relics. You see, like it's just garbo. It's just completely bad. I have like it didn't go to speed, it didn't go to like break effect, it went to HP. So I'll just equip what I have first, and then we're gonna just farm a bunch of it. Right after this. This is the only one that might be a bit decent, although like I really wish I had some attack stats. Oh wait. I need the planar ornaments. What's the name of the new one? Sorry, there you go. Forge of the Kalpagni. And I got like some decent substance, but it's fire damage boost. Like for some reason I couldn't get an attack one. It's just the luck is so bad. Oh, sorry. Switch. But I did get a break effect one. But again, not super good substats. So let's just use up some of my energy to kind of grind some of this out first. Let's do Cavern of Corrosion first. This is more important. Oh wait, hold on. I'm just kind of curious because one of you mentioned it. What does Runmace like Kun do? Is it like super good? Increase wearer's break effect by 60%. When the wearer uses their ultimate, increase all allies damage by 20%, lasting for 2 turns. Should the wearer's break effect exceed 150%, one skill will be recovered. Is this like once? Okay. At the start of each wave, all energy. Wow, that's kind of a really broken thing for Runme. I wonder whether it's good for. I'm not gonna summon for this. Break effect efficiency by 50%. Oh, okay. Let's use someone else's Firefly.
Don't be nervous. Just cooperate with me.
Oh my. Of course. I forgot. I maxed out my. Yeah, I don't delete stuff. If you didn't know, I'm basically a hoarder at this point. I don't ever delete all this. I don't know why I keep them. I don't even use them. If I play like an RPG or something, my go-to response is basically to just keep a bunch of this. Because you never know when you're gonna need it. Can I like mess? Nope, I can't. I have to click one by one. How do you use quick select? Oh yeah. Oh no, I can't because I want to keep some of these things. That's why I'm doing this the dumb way. I don't want to salvage all of them. I think that's enough, right? I mean, like, how many is that? How much space do I have? And that should be enough. That's like 100 something. Let's salvage a little bit more. 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. 3 star? Oh no, wait, I don't have anything below 3 star. 4 star? See, I keep all this because of some weird reason. Let's just salvage it. I don't need it. I have all the 5 star ones anyways. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I don't like this organ music playing in the background. It's so annoying.
Don't be nervous.
Let's go.
Just cooperate.
Take your positions. Let's improvise. The mood is set. Let the show begin.
Attack!
Sure, I'll play along. It's on me.
Eternal. Like fire until everything burns to ashes!
Okay, since I'm gonna be farming, I'm just gonna lower the volume a little bit because the orchestral music and with Firefly saying the same thing every 5 seconds is just gonna get annoying. This person that I'm borrowing this Firefly from is essentially an E2 Firefly.
Have been bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
I mean, the damage is pretty good. Like, a lot of the damage is coming from break effect, right?
Some value, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, let's see whether we got anything. There's break effect and attack, so that's not that bad, I guess. Would have been nice to get something with speed, but we didn't. When is the Wuthering Waves update gonna come out? It's like end of the month, right?
I will claim victory
Let the
for
show
myself.
begin.
The 2.3 story didn't really have a lot of stuff that I can kind of speculate on.
Spend freely.
I was hoping there was gonna be some lore reveals, but there wasn't.
Eternal. Like fire until everything burns to
A lot of it was just like a lot of wrap-ups. The only thing that I can think of right now that was interesting is that each stone heart has a different effect. And Jade's one is probably something related to maybe granting wishes or something like that, if I recall correctly.
Sure, I'll play.
And then Topaz one is like something completely different. It doesn't seem like we're gonna learn what it is anytime soon. Because I originally thought the next part of the story is gonna be related to the IPC, like the second half of 2.3. But it's still possible that it will. I see. It's just bad luck. It's still possible that it will, more because the next summoning is Jade, right? So maybe the second half of 2.3 is gonna be related to the IPC story. And then in 2.4, because we know which characters are gonna be coming out as the 5-star summons, it's probably gonna be like a Xianzhou revisit.
Let's improvise.
Whether we end up going back to like Xianzhou Luofu or a completely different
Hedge your bets. It's on me. The mood is set. Let the show begin.
a different Xianzhou ship, I don't know. But
every petal in life. All will be swept away by the wind.
I know that 2.4 is gonna be Xianzhou Alliance focused.
I'll catch up.
Oh damn, I forgot that cancels out Firefly. I should have altered. Definitely just discovered your channel. Definitely gonna watch all your HSI. There's quite a few. And I'll warn you that like half of it is just nonsense lore ramblings.
Like fire until everything burns to ashes.
I mean, there isn't a theory right now that I'm particularly like not say interested in doing. I do want to do a finality video that might come out like next week because of the Creed Exeki stuff that we just learned in the new event. It isn't a lot of things, but there were some interesting details that they mentioned. So I'm probably gonna do something with finality. But I don't think there was anything else that was particularly interesting that was revealed by the end of 2.3.
This is more than a battle.
The only remaining story-related content in this patch is the continuation of Silver Wolf's story back in 1.1. Yeah. I'm like, this is just pure copium, but I'm hoping that the second half of 2.3 is gonna have something related to the IPC. Because we have Jade coming out at that time, but I'm not sure. But as of the first part of 2.3, oh, that's pretty good. Speed and attack. Okay, let's lock that one.
Time to test our rapport. Let's improvise.
I
The
will
mood is
claim
set.
victory
Let the
for
show
myself.
begin.
Detonate.
There's more to life. Existence is unity. Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind. Like fireflies until everything burns to ashes.
I don't know. Finality is one of those things that is clearly going to be something that we learn inch by inch. It's not going to be just something that just drops as a main story anytime soon. That's my guess, at least.
Dice have been cast.
Because it feels like one of those end of story plot points. So we're gonna learn
Stay in step.
very sparingly, and then at the end, that's when we're gonna learn the whole thing.
Enjoying yourself? Set to the seas of flame.
And then there's that whole thing with see, like, why am I getting crit rate and crit damage? Like, I don't need those. There's also the thing that Jade offered to Sunday at the end of the 2.3. 2.3.
Do come true.
So it's very likely that we're gonna see.
The mood is set just right. Let the show begin.
At least we learned that the Stellar Hunters follow finality. Yeah, it's pretty much.
Sure, I'll play along.
It's been something that has been like talked about but not confirmed in any significant way. But at least, yeah, now we know for sure.
Burns to ashes.
But I guess like it's more like Elio is the one that's following, right? Not like the rest of them are just following Elio.
Set to the seas of flame.
I like that her damage is like 95% just coming from super breaks. The rest of it is like 300, 300, 300. And then it's just like,
Let's improvise. I hit the mark.
Set to the seas of flame.
the only other interesting thing was when Jade was talking about the 10 stone hearts. We got a glimpse of like the 10 of them. But they didn't really show what Diamond might have looked like.
Dreams do come true. The mood is set. Let the show begin.
In position.
But yeah, the 2.3 didn't really have a lot of like lore related stuff. So
Spend freely.
Oops, I forgot to do this.
Until everything burns to ashes! Every petal in life's garden, all will be swept away by the wind. Fight to live! Set the seas ablaze!
I feel Firefly is Kiana XP. They share a lot of similarities. Do they? I mean, I don't know. I didn't play Honkai Impact. So like, what kind of similarities do they share? Like, do they like look exactly the same, or like is it their story is similar? Do you know who hires Sparkle? Yeah, it's in the message thing, right? It was Silverwolf, isn't it? But that's the interesting thing about that whole thing. So we know that Silverwolf was the one that hired Sparkle, right? But was it an attempt to circumvent the third death that Elio said Firefly was gonna experience? Or is it or is it like they knew that was what's gonna happen? That's what I was kind of curious about, like whether what the Stellar Hunters did was an attempt at circumventing Firefly's third death. Like, was she supposed to have a death that, you know, was permanently gonna like kill her off, and then their plan was like, okay, we're gonna manufacture like a fake death so that she doesn't have to experience that third death. Because if you think about it, right, that ending scene kind of reminded me of like the Nolan Batman movies where he flew off with the bomb, and symbolically that scene meant that Batman died and then Bruce Wayne was the one that came out of it, right? But with Firefly's story, that didn't happen, because like when it exploded, it was just a bunch of fireworks, which now that I think about it was a giant hint with the fact that Sparkle's name is Sparkle. But yeah, so like there wasn't any symbolic change with Firefly herself. Like that, those three deaths, like the third death especially, didn't really amount to anything. Like, or maybe like I kind of missed the point, I don't know. She paid for all three deaths to be safe deaths. Yeah, I guess you can kind of look at it that way. But I don't know, like, does that imply that the Stellar Hunters can circumvent Elio's script? Or was Elio's script like vague enough that they could do that? Because like I think when we were talking about it before, like in the previous streams and stuff, right? I think everyone was sort of expecting speed. I think everyone was sort of expecting that there was gonna be a symbolic death related to the third death, right? But then like the way they've kind of portrayed this is that it wasn't that. It was just, I don't know what the significance of it is. That's what I'm trying to say.
I will claim victory for myself.
Like the only thing that I can think about is maybe that the entire exercise was just to show that Elio's script isn't like written in stone. Like they roughly know there's gonna be 3 deaths, but they don't know that they don't know the details, which means you can just maybe like circumvent them in a way. But then we have those scenes where even Firefly herself said that she tried to go against the script. Remember in the, like, I think at the end of 2.1 or something, when it was revealed that Sam is Firefly, and that no matter how many times she tried, the script stayed the same, so she had to do it. We know that Firefly FF scripts are always simple, no details. Yeah. It just makes me kind of think that because of the fact that there's no details, it means that you can kind of move around Elio's script, but you still have to experience, like in this case, the 3 deaths, but not what those deaths specifically are. Because like if you look at like how finality has been explained, right? A lot of it has things to do with it's related to the idea that um,
Sure,
it's related to the idea that
it's on me.
what Elio sees is just a bunch of branches,
Existence is unity.
and it's not the one singular future or something like that. So from your lore video, Eon of Remembrance, remember the future and reliving in memory. Memo Keeper have the Eon records. Is Elio's script actually stolen records from Memo Keeper? It's not outside the realm of possibilities. I mean, there's a lot of things that hint at that the memory that Fully is collecting is meant to be passed on to the next. Okay, hold on. So there's a few things that Fully mentions, or like lore related to Fully, that says that they are collecting all this information in order to kind of bring it to the next next universe or next version of the universe or whatever it is called, right? But that's always been speculation. And then with 2.3, we know that the description with finality is that it goes from one ending to another,
The best timing for an attack.
and it's implied that this is like a looping universe. So
Sure, I'll play along.
so it could be possible that
Grace and elegance.
either the story is the same, and it could be possible that either the story is the same and that's why Elio knows what's happening, because like he stole like a previous version of the script, and then the script stays the same. Or it could be that they took the records, like this future is taken from Fully themselves. But at the same time, like, because we know Elio follows finality, and then finality's law is all about what's this guy? Terminus going back in time and, leaving these prophecies. So the simplest could be that is, I don't know what I'm yapping at this point. But yeah, I think there's something there that might reveal how like the universe itself works rather than, the details of it. If I were writing the story, I'd handle Elio's script as I do RPG campaign plots. It's like planning a road trip. You see the destination, but you could take many different. Yeah, I think it's like implied that that's how it works as well. Like there's many different branches, and so the way I think of it is kind of like this. Remember there was this one part where I think it was Firefly that basically said that before the main character came into the story, Elio's plans always revolved around Stellarons, right? So they would like just go after things that are related to, or they would carry out their plans whenever a Stellaron was involved. So now that they have essentially a mobile Stellaron with this guy, with the main character, now they can basically put this character like wherever they want and institute change in a sense. So I think like up till this point they've been constrained with what they can change with like the story. So imagine like there's like 3 or 4 different paths, right, towards the destination they want, and like they couldn't influence that movement so much. But now with the main character, what they can do is they can just take this character, put them in the place that they want to influence the path, and forcibly do it. That's the impression that I'm getting from how the story is evolving at this point. I think like the main character is basically like a catalyst for how they can forcibly change the story, or how they can go down a specific branch of future that they see. That's why the main character is like so important, and why the main character has essentially been involved in situations where they can overturn their own death. Like with the Cocolia fight, right? Like they were essentially pierced through the chest or something. And I know that it could also possibly be Clipoth coming to help them and all that, but it seemed as though like they changed fate itself, and the song was basically like the Wildfire song actually kind of talks about that. So I don't know. I have a feeling that like based on what we know, the story is sort of set,
Value, I suppose.
And Elio can see all the different branches, but he can't choose the path that he wants to take. But with the Stellaron and with the main character, now he can forcibly make those less likely paths become like a reality for his plan. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Any video of the next planet that Black Swan mentioned? I thought about doing it, but we like know too little about it to make anything significant. Like she just said the name and just a very vague description of it. What did she mention? That it's like the eternal planet or something like that. Some people say it's Greek related. Yeah, I kind of had that impression. What's the name of the new planet?
I will claim victory for myself.
HSR new planet Black Swan. I forgot the name. Amphorius. Yeah.
Firefly, type 4, awaiting orders.
I kind of had the impression that it was like Greek-ish influence as well. But I'm kind of curious, like with all these planets, it's always tied to a faction, right? So I'm kind of curious which faction would tie the best with like a Greek motif. Like if it was Greek, right? Which is the faction that would fit that, I guess. I don't know. So like I want to do a video on it, but we just know too little about it and it'll just be random speculation on my end. Like even the name sounds Greek-ish. Maybe like Amphorius is related to like an amphora, which is, you know, like a base thing. But even then, like it doesn't really tell us anything about what the planet might be. So I'll probably hold off on making that video until we know a little bit more. But I am curious about it. I can't think of anything right now that I could say about that place. I thought about doing like a video where I talk about all the different places that you remember in the dream. They mentioned like 4 other places that we could potentially go, and then after that, Welt mentioned 2 in 2.3, which is one of his, was it Lushanka or something, the sea planet, and then another one, and then Black Swan suggested Amphorius. So maybe I could do a video where I just talk about all those individual planets. But yeah, I haven't thought about the details of it just yet. Probably there will be something at some point, but I can't think of anything right now. Stellarons seem to work similar to Descendants in Genshin. They can bring the equivalent will of an entire world to bear, and the law seems to indicate that eons often rise with the will. Yeah, I mean, I get there is some similarities between because like I feel like Stellarons are basically, or people with Stellarons, like the main character, are those that maybe like, because the way they're described, like the cancer of worlds, it kind of makes me think that they are elements that are, or they are things that are unwanted within reality. It's something that just doesn't fit in with how things work. And I just feel that that's why the Stellarons don't follow like what the story, like what, you know, the scripted story is supposed to be. And then whereas the Descendants are those people who are like, is similar in the sense that they are not part of the story. They come from outside, you know, they're not tied to the Irminsul, and they can exact change to the story itself. So I kind of think of it in terms of their effect on the predefined story, because there's all these things about fate and stuff like that, right? So the route, I guess, they seem to be taking is that all of this is
Every petal and all will be swept away by the wind.
it's the concept of the fact that you can change fate.
Eternal.
And speaking of Stellarons, like they kind of remind me of, like, okay, imagine if let's say the story is fixed, right? Like every time the universe starts, the story is fixed. you go from point A to point B, and then at the end, the universe ends, restarts, and each of the eons basically have a function that, you know, facilitates the repetition of the story. So, like, what if the reason why the universe has to constantly cycle is because of essentially entropy? Like, when you get closer to the end, the way that the universe has been set up within Star Rail starts to work less and less. That's why you get all these stellarons appearing, and we are at the tail end of this cycle. So all these things that normally works are starting to not work, and they have to reset everything. That's why Fuli is basically collecting memories. They are basically like a database that brings things forward. Finality is making sure that it ends the same way each time. So it's kind of like, think of it like, it's basically like the Matrix, if that makes sense. So it's like they know that the whole universe has to be reset. So all these eons are basically just things that facilitate the reset of... Yeah, this is just going into like nonsense territory at this point. But I don't know. I think like there might be something to the idea that this whole thing is like some fixed simulation. And it's like in the concepts of a game, you're just following the, you know, the predefined story. Somebody has designed the story to be this way. Which, wasn't there like a theory in Genshin that Genshin was like a world that was created from like Honkai Impact as a way to test things out? So maybe it's the same with Star Rail. Then that's the connection between Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact. Maybe this is the giant simulation, like, you know, meant to see how to, I don't know, test methods of going against the Honkai or something. I don't know. Because a lot of the eons, if you think about it, seem to serve functions that are... that they seem to be like a... they seem to be like programs that have to follow a certain function. You know, like Klipos has to make sure that the universe is preserved long enough so that it gets to the end of the cycle. Who's this? Terminus makes sure that the end is always the same. Fuli is basically a database for everything that's happened so that when the universe restarts, that information can be reused. And like even like Aha, right? And then it also makes sense with some of the characters that are essentially like self-aware. Like Aha knows that all of this is just like a simulation, so they're not taking it seriously. I mean, they did realize it, like they were in a simulated universe, so I don't see why they wouldn't realize they are in a simulation now. Plus, like every maskful character we meet, all of them basically talk to the screen. Like they're talking to us. Like they know that all of this is just, you know. So maybe it's like a predefined fate story, but within the whole idea that this is just a, you know, like a fixed simulation. But I don't know, like this is going into like crazy nonsense levels of theory. It seems Stellaron Descendants can break the eternal cycle of fate. Yeah, it does seem like that is the case. But I don't know, like again, whether that's like something, that's why they have to reset the universe, because then people start having like true free will and they can just do whatever they want. And maybe they need the universe to persist in a very specific way. Akron, who first changed fate by Memo Keeper, records that why Black Swan came to check. So if Memo Keeper thinks those records as fate, and the red horns of May turns into red sword to make her fate, so Raiden May red tax makes sense, as red tax is where May make her own fate, similar to her past. Elio, Destiny Slave, Destiny... Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that they didn't really explain, right? Like those red tags. So there is that possibility that maybe there are certain individuals that have broken away from the fate that the simulation wants them to follow, if that makes sense. So a simulated universe within a simulated universe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I seem to recall this theory about the Genshin world a long time ago. People were saying that it was like a isolated bubble that was created within Honkai Impact as a way to test things. That's why it's like you have characters that are similar between between Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact, but it's not exactly the same kind of thing. In Asian culture, red strings are fate strings, so red text here could also fate, but by who? I think red text is Akron making her own fate. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Like, sorry, I'm kind of jumping between comments here, so you know, just bear with me. But there is that possibility of like a lot of these things are just, you know, predefined, and the only person that, or the only thing or substance that can kind of change these things are like whatever is related to the Stellaron or the Descenders. Because it seems like a lot of these, and again, I didn't play Honkai Impact, so there might be like additional evidence or context there. But with Genshin and Star Rail, there does seem to be this similar pattern of story where it's about going against what fate has prescribed, right? So for the context of Star Rail, it just feels like we are in this simulation or game or whatever you want to call it, and you're just made to follow that steps. But certain people have realized it or broken away from that limitation, and they can just do whatever they want. And that's basically my TED talk. Thanks for
Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Is finality related to Nanook? Based on what we know, it's two separate things. But I've always wondered whether, I guess, because I like to think of one of these things as entropy, which is like at the end of it, you know. But I don't know whether Nanook is what represents entropy or Terminus is what represents entropy, because they both lead to essentially the end of. But if you played the new game mode, I think the Creed Exaki character, the giant, really tall, that lady that kind of remind me of the Resident. Okay, never mind. They essentially say something along the lines of how even Nanook is not immune to destruction itself. So it sort of implies that at the very end, the only thing that's going to be around is going to be Terminus. So Terminus could just literally be time itself, and they just represent the very end of time itself. I'm not getting any good pieces at all. Like, I think I got like one decent set of boots. So let's like just change things up a bit and go do some of the planar ornaments one, because I need an attack one. Yeah, this is the one. I don't remember what this one is. I think this is the follow-up. I think this is follow-up. Let's change this out a bit, because I don't think I want to use that character. Yeah, let's use this.
High threat target ahead.
Sound lingers.
Feeling lucky.
For the theater of the
Akron in her trailer almost died with her planet, but at the end, her horns forged into sword, basically Hoyo telling us that she made her own fate. I'm kind of curious, like, whether we are going to start to see more characters that are essentially, that have this ability to just ignore fate itself.
High stakes, high
But what kind of confuses me is that if, let's say, the Eons are in on it, right? let's say all the Eons know that
Bust.
that this whole thing is a simulation and their purpose is just to ensure that the lie continues, in a sense.
Answer me.
I'm kind of curious why the emanators, I mean, the only example we have is Acheron. But I'm kind of curious why if let's say the Eons goal is to maintain the lie, right? Why would they give emanators the ability to go against fate? If their goal is just to make sure that the lie is perpetuated.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora.
As you command.
Sure, I'll play along.
Also, the other interesting thing that came out of this whole thing is there was that whole story that Acheron mentioned the who's that? The Device 9. And that's her ultimate goal, is to get into that location with energy regen. Of course. Is to get into that place with all the with all that stuff, just specifically to figure out what the Device 9 is, because that's the place where reality splits off from nihility. So I think like the next time we get a nihility story, it's probably going to be something related to that.
It's on me.
But when we're gonna get it is probably not gonna be anytime soon. Although I did hear rumors that the next faction we're gonna meet is the Doctors of Chaos, but I'm not sure about that.
I'm not afraid of you.
The one thing I like about Star Rail is that they always bring in all these like different game modes. And with the most recent one, they just max out all your characters at 80. So you don't have to go in, you don't have to like fully build any of your characters. They can just, like if you don't have the resources, you can still just have a mode where you can just play and try them out.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Although there isn't like too much story with the Divergent, I mean I haven't cleared most of it, but
Eliminating threat. As you command.
All in.
follow-up attack is such a broken thing.
Spend freely.
Ah, I'm so unlucky. I'm not getting those. Acheron is not Emanator by choice. I think her sword and her own power define IX Eon, and that's why Eon is connected to her. Still trying to suck into Abyss, but IX coexist. I wanted to make a video talking about how Nihility is the only path that, like, you don't have actual true followers. Because in order for you to follow Nihility, it isn't a choice that you have to make. It's you have to go through
It's on me.
the process of sort of accepting that the world is meaningless. So like once you've accepted that, then you just automatically become a quote-unquote follower of Nihility. And nobody actually chooses to be one, because even IX is not interested in their own followers. So I had a like video scripted out for that, but I don't know, I thought it would be like too confusing if I were to do that. I don't know whether the concept is like too
The dice have been cast.
nonsensical. I guess.
Or maybe I'll take it all.
Hey Galaxy. Have you summoned for Akron? Was your luck as bad as mine?
Spend freely.
Or are you saving for Jade? So I don't know, maybe I'll release that Nihility video, but I don't know. It feels a little bit
Petal in life, all will be swept away by the wind.
excessively yappy, and it's like, I don't know, I haven't thought about releasing it yet. But it's there. It's in the bank.
Watch your head.
Yeah, I say Akron. Oh, I meant Firefly. My bad. Because we were talking about Akron and for some reason.
Existence is unity.
No dirty tricks away. All in.
But yeah, overall, with the way 2.3 ended, I kind of wish there was a little bit more. Like, I wish they talk about the next planet a little bit more. Like, just give us a hint of what happened. Or maybe what's happening with the IPC. But it was just like a really quick wrap up. And like, I don't know if I like the way they handled Sparkle and Firefly story.
Asking questions. Answer me.
Like, there was a lot of build up, and then at the end it's like it just kind of ended like abruptly.
Annihilate.
I think her memory is also a bit kind of all over the place because of the fact that she's a self-annihilator. I think like if like the description for a self-annihilator essentially
The dice
kind of
cast.
um
Or maybe I'll take
they are described to
your head.
lose like their sense of taste, their sense of their memory,
Spend
you know, their abilities. So it's like a deterioration thing. And the sad thing is like you can't even like once you realize that the world is pointless, then like existence is pointless, then you automatically go into a state where you just devolve into like essentially a puddle of nothing. Which is kind of sad. It's a depressing thought at least.
Every petal and all will be swept away by the wind.
There's another interesting thing, like
Eternal.
or whether you can actually whether a mortal can actually like kill an Eon.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora.
I mean that maybe that's where we're kind of moving towards because we know like there's still that whole plan that Luocha and Jingliu has, right? To deal with the what's her name? Yaoshe? With yeah. So they seem to have a plan on what or how to kill an Eon.
Some value, I suppose.
I mean Runmei was able to create but that's an Emanator, right? So
Hide.
I mean, it's probably something that has to be explained because at the end of the story, the expectation is for the main character to fight Nanook, right? And the only way we know right now for Eons to die is if another Eon killed them, if they're absorbed, or there's a third thing that we don't know.
I should command.
So I'm guessing like the way that they're gonna end up
Play along.
dealing with that is that the third way, probably.
Bust. Bust. Or maybe
But if that's not the case, then it kind of implies that they have, like, the main character might have to end up just being
spend freely.
an eon or something. That's why there's a lot of theories that kind of claim that the next step is basically that the final point of the story is that
All will be swept away by
the Trailblazer is gonna ascend to become Akivili. The other thing that was kind of interesting at the end of the story was the fact that the Astral Express has fuel that is fed through the adventures that the Trailblaze take, and now there's like a limit of like 2 more trips before they run out of fuel completely. Because if that were the case, like how did Himeko get the fuel in the first place? Because like the whole story with the Astral Express is that it crashed on her planet, right? And then she fixed it up. Oh my god. I have not gotten a single attack orb in so many. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get it.
existence is unity.
What is Eon's Gaze? As far as I understand it, when somebody resonates with the path enough, they become path striders, and in that instance, an Eon might gaze in their direction more as a curiosity thing. Oh, someone is able to access the path. Who is it? And then they just, okay, do what you want. That's kind of like what we see whenever the main character gains a new path. It's essentially an Eon taking notice of somebody entering or accessing the path itself. And then on the other side of that is whenever there's mentions of an Eon's gaze, it's related to the Eon giving an individual more access to the path, and that's what essentially makes them an emanator. That's the only 2 mentions that I can think of right now that relates to an Eon's Gaze. That's why like IX is essentially.
There's more to
But doesn't it have 2 paths? No, the in-game paths. It's not explicitly mentioned, but the in-game path is nothing to do with the law path. The real crash does not mean... Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe after it crashed, it still had like leftover fuel and stuff, right? Yeah. That's true. It doesn't necessarily mean that when it crashed, it was out of fuel entirely. But, I mean, if like, let's say the fuel was based on... the fact that you need to go on trailblazing missions, right? Like, what if the train crashed like 500 years before Himeko found it or something? Like, would the energy still be there, just waiting for somebody to utilize it? Or will it just like deteriorate? I guess the answer would be that it's still there. Because, otherwise how would Himeko be able to leave? But in-game pass is kind of for gameplay itself. Yeah, that's what I think as well. I think the in-game pass have nothing to do with the path that they follow in law. So like Danheng, the 4-star one is Hunt, right? And then the other one is Destruction. The Imbiber Lune is Destruction. But it has nothing to do with the path that he follows in law, which is trailblazing. Because if that were the case, there would be like too many contradictions between different characters. There, like for example, like Fu Xuan. Why am I not getting an attack orb? Do they not exist? I'm getting like every other element except for that one.
eternal.
Even if you think like Jingyuan, right? Jingyuan is like a erudition character in like game mechanics, but in the law, he's supposed to be following the hunt.
High stakes, high rewards.
Since you didn't play Honkai Impacted, do you know what Silverwolf and Bronya have in common? Are they like not like XPs of each other or something like that. They are XPs of like one person, right? There's like a Bronya in Honkai Impact, if I'm not mistaken.
Petal and all will be swept away by the wind.
The dice have been cast.
You could always craft an attack op. Yes, I could. But you see, the problem is some of those materials,
Or maybe
I did not save them.
watch your head.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of energy to go through, so it's still all good. Like, probably by the end of this, if I don't have an op still through some sheer bad luck, I'll probably just craft the things I don't have.
0 points.
No dirty tricks, alright?
One interesting thing that I'm kind of waiting for them to mention is when or if we are ever gonna get this whole lore piece on the Sea of Quanta and the imaginary tree and stuff like that.
Nothing means change.
So like there's some equivalent to it already. So for example, in I think in Aha's story and in Akavili's story, there's a mention of the Tree of Existence. I don't know if it's the same as the imaginary tree,
It's on me.
but I'm wondering when all the concepts from Honkai is gonna come into this story. Like even if it's equivalent, right? Like the Hershers or the Honkai itself, because like it's in the name, right? Honkai Star Rail, but we haven't heard of whether Honkai does exist in this universe or if there's an equivalent to it. Like, is the Honkai the same thing as like destruction or finality or something like that? I wonder if there's some dude who walks in two paths. There probably is, because I don't think there is anything that stops you from
SAS per kip. No.
resonating with more than one path, because it's like a personality thing, right? I mean, not necessarily a personality thing, it's an ideology thing, but I don't see why that would be a problem. I mean, like the main character sort of does that, don't they? Like
I need to be brave.
there's somebody on this new map in Penacony, the ship that we got. Like if you walk past them, like they ask you to be like a model or something, and then they mention that they can feel more than one path resonating from one person. So it does seem to imply like the main character does walk more than one path. They can they are now walking on three paths, right? Which is harmony, destruction, and
Time to do something.
what's the other one? Destruction, harmony, and preservation. Yeah.
Eliminating threat. 0 points.
So there is, okay, but the curious thing is, what happens when you start walking on paths that clearly oppose each other? Like if you start walking on abundance and hunt, right? Like if you walk on hunt, would the path of abundance immediately consider you as a threat? But even then, I don't think the eons can prevent you from accessing the path. It's because it's something that the individual personally resonates with. So I think that there is that possibility. But like what Chad is mentioning, like only an emanator or an eon is prevented from striding. Yeah. Because the way that I see emanators is
Watch your head.
basically an emanator is someone who receives access to the eon's reserve of power, or more access to the path via the eon's blessing. So I would imagine you can't walk on multiple paths that oppose each other. But like if it's something that doesn't oppose each other, let's say like hunt and preservation, right? And let's say you do exemplify both preservation and hunt. I don't know whether that means that you can't be an emanator for both. Because an emanator is just someone who just has additional access to the path through the eon, right? So I'm not sure. But and then the other thing is like the main character is an emanator of all paths, right? Like, is it possible that the Trailblaze itself has like some loophole that allows you to essentially walk on all these paths. Like if trailblazing is all about exploration and going into the unknowable and all this adventure stuff, right? There could be like a loophole within trailblazing itself that allows you to just go on all these different paths just because like you're ultimately still following trailblaze because you're kind of exploring all these paths, right? So I don't know if that's the case. Like, is there something that
Yes, boss.
allows you to do this because you are
Take it off.
on the path of trailblaze? I don't think it's been confirmed in law itself that Jinyuan is an emanator. This is the thing that always gets me confused.
Knock on its own.
I don't remember off the top of my head whether it's explicitly mentioned that he is an emanator of the hunt. I think it's implied that he is. But I might be completely wrong there because this was something that a lot of people asked and I couldn't find anywhere that explicitly says that he is an emanator of the hunt. Oh yeah, I think someone mentioned somebody brought it up that Black Swan did mention it. But even then wasn't it like an implication rather than did she say it? Okay, then probably that confirms it then. Because I just didn't remember exactly what was said.
All will be swept away by the wind.
I mean, Star Rail's law is starting to become this really giant backlog of text, so I don't remember. Like some people said that he is an emanator, and then Black Swan confirmed it. But then other people were saying like she didn't like outright confirm it. She implied it. So that's why I'm just a little bit confused on whether he is truly an emanator of the hunt or something. She said slash of emanator. I mean that's where this becomes a little bit confusing because like what she could just be saying that his attack was the equivalent of a like in terms of strength with an emanator, not necessarily that he is one, right? But again, like I said, this is one area that I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if he really is an emanator because at this point, if like the only situation where I would consider someone an emanator is if it's explicitly mentioned, like with Acheron. Like it's explicitly said like, yes, they are an emanator, then I will say it. But like with Jinyuan's case, I honestly I don't know. Hi Deka, how are you? She implied he is emanator, but for which path?
Watch your head.
I guess the best guess is probably Hunt.
No dirty tricks, alright? High stakes, high rewards. The dice have been cast.
Because even like with Black Swan, right?
Bust.
There's implications of it. Like Welt mentions that only the emanators of remembrance are mimetic entities. So it's like a roundabout way of saying it. But then if that were the case, then does it mean that all the messengers that we see, you know, for the MOC and in what's this? In March's companion quest, are those all emanators? So that's the thing that like it's a bit unclear unless it's explicitly mentioned. So for example, like Diamond, and there was another person in the IPC. If you look into the data banks, it's explicitly mentioned that they are emanators. So with some of these other characters like Jinyuan and with Black Swan, it's implied that they are, but there's no like text that specifically says that they are.
And elegance.
What are we talking about right now? We're talking about emanators, like who counts as an emanator and who doesn't count as an emanator. It's an age-old discussion.
In life's garden, all will be swept away.
Dan Hang also implied that Locha is an emanator after healing Xueyi. Yeah. I have reservations with Locha. I don't remember. I think if you went with the rating gun, it says that they are it says that they are something related to it. Sorry, it might be a hint that they are an emanator. But what I think it is that whatever is in his coffin is the emanator, and he's just making use of that ability. That's my guess with Locha. I think whatever he has in his coffin is like, maybe it's a piece of Shuhu's body or something like that. Maybe it's the body of an emanator, a piece of their body that he's cultivating as a plant or something like that. But I think that Locha himself may not be an emanator, but he's taking the powers from the coffin itself. Like, I don't know if that's how it works. It's just a hunch. Also, you see how Boothill and Aventurin are vibing on 2.3. Do you think they are an agreement, or Aventurin Gamba on Boothill? So I think that, so we know that Boothill is looking for Oswaldo because Oswaldo was the one that completely destroyed Boothill's planet, right? And we know that Aventurin and the strategic investment department, or whatever it's called, is actively opposing Oswaldo because Diamond is fighting against Oswaldo, right? So I think it's just this mutual, like a beneficial relationship, because if Boothill kills Oswaldo, then Aventurin's group basically benefits from it. So I don't see why Aventurin would like hold back that information. If he knew where Oswaldo is, he would probably just let Boothill do whatever he wants, because if Boothill succeeds, then they benefit either way. So I think it's like a mutually beneficial relationship.
Eternal.
What I'm kind of curious about is why is Boothill and what is that person? I always forget his name. The Knight of Beauty, what's his name? Argenti. I'm kind of curious, like, for some reason Argenti is like the most forgettable. I don't know. But I'm kind of curious why Boothill is like so buddy-buddy with Argenti. Like, I'm just curious whether it's a hint at what beauty is or something like that. I don't know. You have Thunderlord, which is a gift from the Eon of the Hunt. Okay, even then, like that Thunderlord thing, right? If I'm not mistaken, and again, I might be misremembering things, but wasn't that also handed down to him from the previous general? Like, does that imply like these sort of things can be passed down? I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Have you checked the databank about a clue about the emanator of nihility? Oh, which part of the databank? It's kind of helping or giving him info. Yeah, it's just I feel like he doesn't lose anything from giving the information, and they both seem to be opposing Oswaldo. So the only thing that I was curious about in the databank is there was a section about something to do with like the fringes of reality or something like that. I think like Acheron was the one that mentioned it, but I think it's something to do with the device 9. That's another thing. Why is it she calls IX as IX? Like, is it like the Roman number IX? But then when she talks about the device 9, she says 9 instead of device IX.
Waiting means change.
Kind of just threw me off a bit.
Mediocre is a command.
Let me just open the databank real quick. I'm just kind of curious about that.
It's still early.
Databank. I think it was in terms or something. There was this mention of Yeah, emanator, right? If mortals receiving the grace of eons and grasping the power paths are viewed as a singular shattered foam, then the mighty feats of eons driving their path onwards can be likened to a towering tsunami. Okay. Small number of favored mortals can also draw upon the power with the permission of the eons. Creating huge waves that erode the coast, they are referred to as emanators. While not completely subservient to the eons, emanators are as good as emissaries of the eons' wills in everyone else's eyes. Yeah, so it does seem to imply that the eons, like this means that the eons can give you more access to the path, but I don't know if they can outright block it. Like, can the eons just say like, hey, you know, I know that you gain access to this path, but I don't really like you, so, you know, go away. I don't think they can do that. But I think like maybe they allow access to the path through themselves. I really don't know. Different eons have different attitudes towards their emanators, so the degree of power they share also varies. Some eons regard emanators as extensions of themselves. There are also eons who have no intention of creating emanators. I mean, we know who that is, right? The giant purple blob. Other eons just do as they please. It is said that Aha will randomly give mortals the power of the path. Yeah, we know that already. So, there is one thing that the horizon of existence. This was the thing that Akron was talking about. It's something to do with like the border of existence. Nihility by the intelligent marks the boundary between existence and nihility. The boundary does not pertain to the material realm but signifies the conceptual end of reality. I mean, that has a lot of not connotations, but it has similarities to like what it's like in the center of a black hole, right? I don't know if a black hole counts as the end of reality. Maybe device is the one made IX as the IX eon is personal like all eons. Yeah, like I'm not sure what exactly the device IX is. Like the way it's described, like I don't even know if it's a faction because it's listed in factions, if I'm not mistaken. I think device IX, yeah, you see? It's listed as a faction, but from the way Akron talks about it, it sounds like it's something that is hidden in a place. Device IX is real. Go find it. Yeah, that's that's obviously a throw to like One Piece, right? Isn't it? No. And then it says that there lies all of Dr. Primitive's secrets. So is it like a place? Is it a thing? Or it seems like it's a place. But then again, this is some drunken galaxy ranger, so I don't know how much you can trust that. Because like it says here, on the opposite side of equal entropy, there exists nihility. And reality is but one side of the coin. So like nihility balances out reality, right? But then like when you read this part, it says that there is a section of place where like reality and nihility are separate. But if they are two sides of the same coin, yeah, okay, this is just going into ramble territory. I will not indulge my ramblings because I'm just gonna go down a giant hole of nonsense. Let's go back to grinding while I ramble on this sort of thing. Hey, no, wait, this is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, there you go. Let's get...
High threat target ahead.
Can we count Ifrit with Nanook? You mean like... what's his name? Oh my god, I am so bad with names. Duke Inferno.
Feeling
What do you mean by can we count Ifrit with Nanook? Do you mean like is Duke Inferno following Nanook? Or is he an emanator? Is that what you ask?
High stakes, high rewards.
A black hole might be considered the end of reality, at least in terms of defining an age where existence break down. Yeah, so I don't know, like does that mean the device IX or device 9 is essentially like the center of at the center of a black hole? But it's such a weird thing to conceptually wrap your head around.
Spend freely.
Your answers?
Oh, because you asked if eons can block the access to your path. Okay, so I don't think that Duke Inferno is a candidate for someone who could have their path blocked. Because while Nanook doesn't necessarily like the Annihilation Gang, because the reason they don't like them is because the Annihilation Gang has like they have like rules about what they think should be destroyed. So like for example, Duke Inferno only destroys things that in themselves have value. So like if something doesn't have value, they don't want, like he doesn't want to destroy it. So like if like you have like two books, right? For example, one is like a super rare first edition of something, and then the other one is just some random textbook. He would destroy the rare book because there's more meaning in that action. Whereas like with Nanook, what he wants or what they want is just to destroy both books. So that's why like they don't really like the Annihilation Gang. Because they kind of, I guess, discriminate between what they want to destroy and what they don't want to destroy. Whereas Nanook is like, yeah, just destroy everything. Like, it doesn't matter. So I don't think that Duke Inferno is prevented from accessing the path of destruction, because even though they are picky with what they destroy, they are still destroying things. So like I think in one of the descriptions, it's mentioned that Nanook just tolerates them, because at the end of the day, they still end up destroying stuff. It's just they prefer the Anti-Matter Legion, because the Anti-Matter Legion just destroys everything. So it's like a favorite child kind of thing. Like you're still Nanook's kids, but he definitely has a favorite. When Akron met the old man, Trailblazer in place that always reigns, I think this is what Aeon IX is made of. If I'm not mistaken, that place wasn't it like... Okay, I'm not going to even attempt to answer that, because that part just confused me. I don't know where that was. All I know was that it was a bunch of people who had died fighting the Lord Ravager, but they were somehow brought back. It's not their real form, but they were brought back through Nihility to essentially run a pointless exercise of pursuing their dreams from when they were alive, something like that. And it's just this roundabout way of showing the pointlessness of Nihility. Like Nihility brought them back to do something that they could never achieve, and that in itself is pointless. But as to where that took place, I'm not sure. It's probably like the way Acheron mentioned it, it felt like it was the border between, between the Nihility and reality or something like that. But again, I'm not entirely sure where that was exactly. Nihility is just overall kind of confusing, even at least for me. Yeah, all the hands trying to reach the black hole is those sin thirsters, right? Even the person who she was talking to, the Tiernan, wasn't actually there. That's why at the end you could see his hand become like a shadowy version of itself. But I don't know. Nihility is just overly confusing, at least to me. There's a lot of these concepts that exist within Nihility itself that makes it a bit difficult to understand. But that at least to me, still isn't as confusing as beauty. I still have, like, at least Nihility, I kind of get what it's going for
Cast. Bust.
based on, like, its
Maybe I'll take
ideology of everything being pointless. But with beauty, I have no idea what it's talking about. I don't know what in the world beauty even stands for. Apparently, it's like the followers or the Eon itself understands the beauty of the underlying universe, and that's related to people, you know, philosophically understanding something. I don't know. Beauty is the one thing that
Away by the wind.
when we eventually get a story on beauty, I'm gonna be dreading that because I have no idea how to make that video. I hope that the explanation is not like some confusing, really roundabout thing. But even now, with like a lot of what Argenti is saying, like I'm confused. I'm super confused with what it even stands for. Because again, like Argenti is just a follower, right? Like it could also it could be a possibility that he doesn't completely understand beauty for what it is. There are a lot of factions that follow these Eons that have like wrong interpretations of what the path itself stands for. I mean, like, oh, finally we get an attack orb after I don't know how many tries. Let's just do one more and then we'll go back to
Existence is unity.
artifact farming. I'm sorry, this is probably what's going to be happening the whole stream. It's just going to be me farming artifacts and just talking about lore. That's really what a lot of this is. It's just me rambling about lore. Let me like ask this question if anybody plays Wuthering Waves.
the dice have been cast.
Like, who do you think the rover is?
Bust. Or maybe I'll take it.
Like, what's your thoughts? Like, I have a video that I'm working on with this question.
It's on me.
I'm just curious what people generally think. Like, who do you think the rover is? Do you think the rover is somebody from the past, or is the rover, is the rover something else entirely? Are they like a tested Discord? Are they, the founders of the Black Shore or something like that? I don't know. I'm working on a video that talks about that, but maybe it's the counter to Nihility, beauty. Yeah. It's possible. Like, it could be possible that if Nihility represents the pointlessness of the universe, then beauty represents like the opposite of that, right? I mean like, there is a description about beauty that says that it's related to reality, and then just from what we read just now, reality and nihility are the two sides of the same coin. So yeah, it is possible. Maybe I can make a video about that. I think he's the same person from the past. Yeah, there is a possibility that they were like just somebody who's really old. But there's also like a lot of ideas around very timey-wimey stuff happening. Like the rover is, I don't know if this is a story that's related to like otherworldly beings, aliens or whatever you want to call it. Or maybe gods from outside of the Solaris 3. But there's definitely some timey-wimey stuff happening. That's definitely for sure. Oh, for those of you who have all four what do you call this? All four Stellaron Hunters, if you put them in a team, I think you get an achievement that kind of mentions a certain cat. I don't have Blade, so I can't show you guys that. But if you have all four of them, you can... Like, there's an achievement, I think. Hold on, let me see whether I can just borrow a support character of anybody who has like Blade.
High stakes, high rewards.
I think he's a person who can reincarnate. Yeah, but where does he come from? Where does he come from though? Is he somebody from the past that is who has just always been there? Or are they like from the future and he's just reincarnating into the moments where all these things are happening.
I'm asking questions. Answer me. Feel.
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil the theory that I have because I'm gonna make it into a video, but I'm just curious.
Hide.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora.
As you command.
Enjoying yourself?
Hoyoverse is also in the isekai genre. Yeah, I mean, Hoyoverse is like they are self-proclaimed. They are self-proclaimed. Like anime lovers, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's elements of like isekai in their games.
Or maybe I'll take it all. All in.
Oh no, I think Ranmei is gonna die here.
Annihilate.
Oh no, wait, I can shield. Yeah.
No dirty tricks, alright?
Your answers? A test.
Maybe he's like Link. Maybe from Zelda? Yeah, that's possible.
It's still early.
Hold on. I think I can just edit here. I think I have a few. I don't know whether it works if you do it like this. I think it doesn't. Like if you put Kafka, Firefly, Silver Wolf, and you borrow someone's blade. I think I have somebody who has blade. No one sharing blade anymore. Oh, there you go. Oh, I don't think it works like this. You have to add them into like the team builder thing. That's how you can see the like the achievement comes out. But if you have all 4 characters, you can see like there's an achievement related to a certain cat that, come on, we all know it's Elio, right? Everybody knows the cat is Elio, right? There's like even a it appears everywhere. It can't be Elio at this point. It has to be Elio. Who else could it possibly be? Because every faction know about Rover and what he can do, so I think they have done something in the past. Yeah, so like we know that Jinshi knows about the Rover because of Jue, and Jue is a sentinel that apparently can see the future. So maybe if you fight Trace Material Boss, yes, that's a good idea. Let's go do that and see whether it works. Let's go and find. Yeah, so maybe like they know about the Rover purely because of of course I didn't unlock this one yet. Let's just go to this one. Because of the prophecy that Jue has. Okay, so let's try putting like Firefly,
Don't be nervous.
Silver Wolf, Kafka, and let's find a blade.
It's not in the script. So what happens next?
No, it doesn't trigger.
Does.
Maybe you need like everybody on your team. Maybe you have to have the character. I don't know. Or maybe I've already unlocked it and I just didn't realize it before. But then I didn't have Firefly, right? It doesn't make sense. Does it have to be in a specific order? Does Kafka have to go like? Does it have to be like? No. I think you do. No, you don't get anything. Yeah, I'm gonna run away. I don't want to fight this guy. I didn't level up this. Yeah. But there is something you can just kind of Google it if you're kind of curious. There's an achievement that kind of mentions. Also, is Firefly like? Does she appear like kind of smaller like than she's supposed to? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's basically like there is something that hints at Elio being a cat, which he's a cat. I'm also kind of curious about the new character being like Blade's niece. I wonder like what the story is behind that. Oh wait, since we're here, we might as well put up the relics. I don't have a good one, so we're just gonna. I think I didn't get an attack one. I got one attack one. And then there was another boot that I got that had attack and crit damage, although it doesn't have break effect. Crit rate, HP, crit damage, effect hit rate. Nope, I didn't get an attack one. Blade dies? That's another thing that I'm kind of curious. When will we start to see all the Stellaron hunters getting what they want? Like, we know that Firefly wants to continue surviving. Blade wants to die. I don't remember what Silverwolf wants, but I know that Kafka wants to continue she wants to get emotions or something like that. And I have a feeling that's really only going to happen once the main character is in danger or is about to die or something like that. So, yeah. Can I put it here? Does it work here?
Who do you think
It does not.
reach the end first?
What was the theme I was using for this?
Or them?
I think it's Run Me. Yep. And then it's Trailblaze. And then we're gonna borrow somebody's.
Don't be nervous. Just cooperate.
Do you think the rovers are the protectors of Solaris? I'm trying to answer this question without spoiling my own video, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are
Don't miss the best timing for an attack. Let's improvise.
protectors. Like, I don't think their goal is just to protect Solaris.
Let the show begin.
But I do think that they are trying to do something that benefits the people of Solaris. That much I think is true.
Will be swept away by the wind.
Whether they are protectors, I don't know. Or maybe I'm saying I don't know because it doesn't fit with like the theory I have. But
It's on me.
right now I don't think so.
Firefly Type 4 in position.
Again, because it doesn't fit with my theory. So I'm not saying that it's impossible. I just
Fight to live!
You're gonna make Kafka a new Himeko. I think somebody mentioned before that it's like Kafka is apparently like Kafka. Sorry, not Kafka. Himeko has to die in every universe. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen when she does. My personal headcanon is that because she's the kind of like the leader of the Trailblazers right now, right? The Nameless.
Spend freely.
I think that when it's time for the main character to take over that mantle, we are probably gonna see a situation where she's gonna die. And then they're gonna pass on that role to the Trailblazer, and then maybe that starts off the entire arc of the Trailblazer ascending into Archivali's role or something like that. I don't know. That's assuming that Himeko dies. Because, you know, this might be a completely different story. And maybe Himeko doesn't die in this one. I mean, because, I don't know, like, isn't that kind of what Welt is trying to prevent? Isn't Welt trying to, like,
Let's improvise.
not have her die? I don't know.
Just let the show begin.
They are doing a Kafka and Himeko ASMR. I'm kind of afraid to ask, but what do you mean?
It's on me.
Enjoying yourself?
Because when I see Kafka, Himeko, and ASMR in like a sentence, like there are certain places my mind is going to, but I don't think I can stay there.
Existence is unity. Like fireflies until everything burns to ashes!
Oh, that's another thing that is kind of curious, because right now every character once March's new form. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. Once March's. Oh, I can't even say that. Once her form comes out, we know that it's imaginary. So she's gonna be the only. Himeko is gonna be the only one who doesn't have a imaginary path. Imaginary character.
The dice have
So if that happens, then like
or maybe I'll take you.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna give her a new form. I somehow have this feeling that, like, what if the Trailblazer isn't the one that ascends? Maybe like they ascend into a different role entirely, and Himeko is the one that becomes the Aeon of Trailblaze. Of course, we don't know if that's even in the story, you know, a possibility, but
This is more than a fight to live!
oh, she gonna die? Yeah, I know there's some of you that is just waiting for Himeko to die. I don't really want her to die. I kind of like all the 5 main characters.
Dreams do come true.
Why I feel Penachronic Arc is all scam by Aeon with those typewriter loading screens and credit. That's kind of an interesting like view on it. I don't know about the typewriter stuff, but I think at this point, with the way we've kind of experienced this game, you know, there's like, oh, dreams within dreams, and then like Aha is aware and it all could be a trick. It's like every story right now could just very well be like, oh, it's an illusion, it's a dream, it's all a trick. But I don't think they can do that too much, because then the novelty wears out. And you're just gonna, like every arc, you're just gonna expect there to be like, oh, there's gonna be this twist, or we're gonna expect this twist to happen. And I don't think that's gonna be like very good in terms of storytelling. So I hope they don't do that, but I can't discount the possibility. Every Himeko has to die for the progression of the main character. I mean, I've heard people say that, like, she has to die. Like, it's just part of her destiny that she has to die. I don't know if there's any, like, obvious red flags right now that might say, like, oh, you know, this is what is gonna cause her.
Sure, I'll
But
follow along.
I don't know. I personally don't want her to die.
Grace and elegance.
March needs to get stabbed? Why? Oh, you know, there's something that was mentioned by March in the current 2.3 story that I found rather interesting. Do you remember when the main character was asking everyone, like, oh, what was your version of the perfect dream?
Waiting means
And March was saying something, like, I don't remember what her dream was, but she mentioned something that
this is more than a battle.
she was mentioning something along the lines of she felt like a tentacle or something moving into her memories trying to get something. And then there was something there, and then that tentacle just went away. And the first thing I thought about was Mythos, because Mythos has that giant, like, they have that giant jellyfish on their head. And I can't think of any other Eon that fits the description of having tentacles. So then, like, I know I made that video about how much could be related to Mythos, but now I'm starting to think that maybe Fully hit something within March,
Don't miss the best.
and then like Mythos wants it, but I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's the truth about Mythos or something like that. So it's like,
Position.
oh yeah, Ouroboros, yeah, that's true. Ouroboros also has that description, but I don't know if Ouroboros fits that particular, like, anything to do with like March's whole story with memories and all that. Like, what if like Ouroboros could like eat concepts, right? Maybe they could eat the memory. I don't know. That's just kind of going kind of out there already.
You, I suppose.
But the first thing that came to mind was Mythos, at least. something similar happened during Penacony. Every time I came across a character, I was like, is that Sparkle in disguise? Yeah, that's the thing that I was like kind of thinking that was a problem with the story.
By the wind.
Because they kind of had all these like potential twists that every time something happened, you're thinking like, oh, is this a dream? Oh, is that Sparkle? Like half the time in 2.3, when Robin appeared, I was like, oh, is that Sparkle? I think that's Sparkle. I don't think that's Robin. And turns out it just wasn't. I guess it just creates like a lot of suspicion among the players when they experience the story. And they are like, oh, are we still in a dream?
This is more than a battle.
What if March has like family connections with Fuli? I mean, there's a lot of theories that does tie her quite closely to Fuli. Like maybe she's an ex-emanator, maybe she is Fuli itself in human form. There's so many different
Elegance.
there's so many different possibilities here. But I don't know, from the way her skill works, like apparently she can, gain abilities from like putting herself in the memories of others. Because if you've seen her new form ultimate, right? The ultimate animation, it does look like she's inserting herself into somebody else's memories, but gaining the experience from those memories. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So I just kind of feel it's a combination of both Mythos and Fuli, because Fuli obviously is related to memories and stuff like that, but with Mythos it's the idea that you can like fictionalize these things. Like obviously she didn't gain those experiences, but she gains the abilities from them, right? So maybe like somebody was asking earlier, like, can an emanator walk two paths? Maybe March is the first one. But again, that's just a random nonsense theory. So it's unproven. It's a bucket of salt.
Spend freely.
March is Fuli's wife or sister? I don't know about that. But for me, it looked like she's just looking to her memory. Yeah, but in that memory, there was like scenes where you could see Yanqing training her and stuff, right? I mean, like, okay, again, it could be possible that when we go into 2.4, there is going to be a scene where Yanqing actually trains her, and then she looks back into that memory and gains those abilities. That's entirely possible.
Waiting means change. Existence is
So,
empty,
like, I don't discount that possibility.
like fireflies to a flame. I'm so
Since we don't know what's going to happen in 2.4, it could very well be that. But then it's just kind of like a weird thing, right? If Yanqing trains her, that's fine, and she just looks into her memory. Isn't that like just what everyone else can do? Like if I was trained by someone and I'm about to fight someone else, I'm just gonna remember my training. It's not really an ability. It's just me remembering things. If it was anybody other than Yanqing, I would probably say that it was a memory from the past. Like maybe it was like the previous sword champion or something, like before Jingliu, and that's how she got these abilities. Because her title was like the sword master or some sword thing, right? So like it wouldn't make sense if Yanqing trained her for like 2 days and then suddenly she's like as strong as, again, I don't know what the details are, but
grace and elegance.
I'm more leaning towards the idea that she's accessing memories from the past.
Firefly type 4 in position. Set the seas aflame.
HP, crit rate, crit damage, attack. Yeah. On any other set, this would have been fine. It didn't look like she was that skilled. Yeah, I mean, like, half the animation is basically her looking at, like, bubble tea or something like that, right? So, there's a possibility that she's kind of like a joke character. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, like, if they really were to go like, okay, like when you say like joke character, it could be like just, you know, simple joke kind of thing. But if they are gonna go the route of like a joke character being something like Looney Tunes level of jokes, like have you seen Gear 5 on One Piece? Like at this point, like Luffy can just basically do whatever he wants. Like he can function like change reality. Like it's like Looney Tunes level of like reality bending, right? And if that is really Matcha's ability, that's broken as hell.
Hedge your bets. Spend freely.
There's more to life.
If Match 7th is an emanator, can she take any memory as her own, like muscle memory? Okay, so that's certainly possible, but the problem is whether or not that is something all emanators of all emanators of remembrance can do. Because I don't know if Black Swan can do something like that.
Like fireflies to a flame.
So if Black Swan can, then yeah, that's within the realm of possibilities. Do you need to play the story for Firefly Relics? I don't think so.
Set the seas aflame.
Alright, see you, Galaxy. Thanks for dropping by. See you next time, man. No, I don't think you need to play the story for Firefly Relics. Usually, I think the Relics is in the place where we had the fight with Sunday. So you don't really have to you don't have to play the story to access that. But for the planar relics, you need to either unlock it through the event, or there's like a little bit of talking with Screwlum before you can access it.
Things change.
And there's like a bunch of tutorials and stuff. So that one you have to just go through it, yeah. But it's really fast, and you don't really have to spend too much time getting access to it. Light cones already do something similar, if I may. Yeah, actually that's true, right? Light cones allow you to access past memories to gain the experience, right? So like that brings up an interesting question. Like we know like March is like, there's a lot of theories related to March being an emanator and related to remembrance and stuff like that. What if she's just like a living light cone? Like she's just a blank light cone, and like any memory you insert in her, she just gets all the memories and all the experience that's associated with it. Maybe that's how she gains her powers. Like in truth, she's literally just a living light cone, like a living light cone or something, and she can just,
Existence
you know,
is unity.
at any given time just slot a light cone into her into her head or something, and she's just like,
Stay in step.
oh no, I have not been paying attention and now I have no energy.
Some value I can. Every petal in life. All will be swept.
Or maybe her photos are proto light cones. Yeah, that's also a possibility. Maybe like they learned how to make light cones from observing her very unique ability. Maybe I should make a video about that. Yeah, I should definitely make a video about that. Is March a light cone? The more videos I make, the more convoluted the theories start to become. But I like the idea, is March a light cone? Yes.
Like fireflies.
Can't capture much. Yeah.
Everything burns to ashes. This is more than a battle.
Bad relics of the Iron Cavalry set is equal or better than Firefly's best alternative. The really funny thing is that I'm getting all the main stat damage, like crit and crit damage, which Firefly doesn't need. It's like the game knows that, I know you need break effect, I know you need speed, but we're just gonna give you all this random crap.
Watch
that you're never gonna use. At least I can use it for materials. You will explain why Black Swan was in Matcha's room. Yeah, that's true. What was she doing in her room? I mean, it's either Black Swan is looking for something within her room, like, or like maybe she's confirming something, or maybe she's just a creep. Hold on. What if Black Swan was the tentacle? Like Black Swan was trying to go into Matcha's. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Like, what if Black Swan is the tentacle? Okay, look. In the 2.3, let me give some context. Maybe some of you like missed it. Basically, in 2.3, there was a section where the main character was asking all the Trailblazers what their ideal dream was when everyone was trapped in Sunday's dream, right? And everyone was giving a version of like what they experienced. And in Matcha's story, she essentially said that, I don't remember what her dream was, but she felt like there was a tentacle that was going into her memory, sort of like looking for something. And then after that, it found something that it didn't want to, and then it just ran away. So like what we were talking about before was that it was Mythos, because Mythos has like those tentacly things. But now it's like, what if that's Black Swan? Like, because we know Black Swan can enter into people's memories. And maybe she took that moment to kind of scout out Matcha's memories. And when she couldn't find anything, she just ended up going into her room. I don't know. Just thinking of it as a possibility. Yeah, like what she did with Acheron. Except like with Acheron, she learned the hard way, like you don't want to go into into Acheron's memories.
Grace and elegance.
So maybe like she experienced the same thing with like March. Like she went into March and she's like, what? Why does everyone have like so screwed up memories? And she just can't do her job as a memo keeper. I already put Black Swan in sus list. Yeah, she is suspicious, but at the same time, what I kind of find interesting is that I don't know, I feel she's just interested in getting the things that she wants, which is just witnessing all these memories. Like, I don't think she has like any other agenda outside of that, just purely because of her backstory. Like, I've done a video on her backstory, but a lot of it is just, she just wants to collect memories, even before she was a memo keeper. Because her mom, before she died, kind of imparted this lesson to her, I guess, if you want to think about it like that. So I don't, like, she is definitely suspicious, but I don't think she is like outright scheming to do something that. But then again, she's like kind of telling all the Trailblazer to like go to, what's the name of the planet? Amorphous, yeah, whatever it's called. So there is that possibility that's what, like, maybe she's trying to, she knows that there are certain memories that she can't collect, and she's making use of the Nameless to go to these places so that she can get those memories. Because if you remember, Penacony was sort of impenetrable in the sense, and no memo keeper before that could get the memories there, the truth about it at least. And when the Nameless came, that's when the truth actually came out. And also, was it ever answered who was the other memo keeper on Penacony? I remember Black Swan said there was another one, right? But it wasn't revealed, right?
This is more than a battle.
What do you think of that planet she summons? Which planet?
Hedge your bets. Spend freely.
What do you think of that planet she mentions? Oh, sorry. For some reason, I read that as what do you think of the planet she summons? I don't know why. That's what I read. But yeah, as for that planet that she's suggesting we going, somebody asked whether I would make a video about that. And right now, I don't even have like any guesses as to what it is? Because all we know is the name and Forius and it's like the land of like the eternal land or something like that. It kind of reminds me of like maybe it has like a Greek theme, but I don't know if there's any Eon or faction that is largely related to like a Greek motif. So it could not be Greek at all. It could be something else entirely. Land of the Eternal, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I'll think about it. Like maybe if I have some good ideas, I might, you know, make a video about it. But right now, honestly, nothing really comes to mind. The only thing that I might think about is that the fact that Black Swan basically says that you can kind of go there and get a bunch of fuel for the Astral Express means there's probably going to be something going on in the planet that, you know, the Trailblazers can get super involved with. And there's probably a memory on that planet that nobody else... Yeah, because she says that it's a planet that nobody even knows exists, right? So I'm kind of curious about that as well. Like, what do you mean by it's a planet that nobody knows exists? Is it like hidden, or is it like on the fringes of like reality? Has it got something to do with nihility? There's a lot of possibilities, but there's nothing right now that jumps to mind, like screams out right now. Oh, that's true. Aha's comedy smash, or like the comedy and tragedy, right? Oh, I didn't think about that. Maybe it has something to do with like the mask or like the morning actors. But if that were the case, why would nobody know about the planet? Is it like maybe the reason nobody knows about the planet is maybe Aha is just making a one big giant joke? There's certainly some possibilities.
Stay in step.
A planet in conflict between 3 eons.
Let's improvise.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms reference? Oh, I didn't think about that.
Set just right. Let the show begin.
I wonder what the 3 eons are. But that's another really kind of weird thing. If it's a place that is like contested by 3 eons, right? Why would it be a place that nobody knows about? Like, have the eons purposefully like shrouded it? Might be a backstage planet where the Masked Fools prepare their mischief. I don't think that's likely because we know that the Masked Fools own taverns across the universe. And they basically just live out of those taverns.
All will be swept away by the wind.
I think it's in the description or something like that.
Like fire until everything burns to ashes.
I don't know. Initially, I thought about like a Greek influence and that might have ties to Aha. But at the same time, the idea that it's like conflict between 3 eons. I wonder which 3 eons could possibly obscure an entire planet. Maybe it's Mythos, Aha, and... I don't think it would be Klipoth. Ouroboros maybe? But Ouroboros would just eat the planet, right? So, yeah.
Sure, I'll play along.
I don't know. But anyways, I think I have rambled on enough for today. We accomplished what I wanted to get, which is I got Firefly, although through sheer effort. And I probably have to spend some on Welkin Moons. But I'm probably going to end the stream. I am going to end the stream here. Usually I just stream for like a couple of hours. It's not too long. And I'll probably, because I need to work on some videos. For this week, there's going to be Wuthering Waves videos. There's one theory video, which I think is kind of interesting. It has to do with the shepherds. And another one is just an explanation video. I was thinking of doing something with like Firefly, but right now there doesn't seem to be anything interesting in terms of lore-wise that I can do really quick. I might do something to do with the new planet soon, but I kind of want to wait a little bit to see whether there's anything that comes out in the coming weeks before I make that video. There's a Nihility video I have in the bank. I don't know if I'm gonna release that this week. I'll think about it. But other than that, the ASMR. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that off stream just so that I'm, like maybe the next stream I can just like react to it or something. I came across this really weird theory about Penacony being in a loop. No, I have not seen it. But I have had videos where I kind of talked about the entire story that we are experiencing itself, and the universe itself is a loop. So I do think there are elements of that somewhere in the story, but I have not seen that the Penacony one is in the loop. If we turn out to be in yet another dream, I think quite a lot of people are just probably gonna say like this is going too far. So I don't think that we are gonna, there's gonna be another loop of this, because if it is, it's getting a bit exhaustive. But that's just personal thought. I don't know. Anyways, again, like I said, I'm gonna stop the stream now. Thanks so much for sitting in. I actually have quite a lot of fun talking about lore. Everybody has like kind of crazy ideas. So I might stream tomorrow at the same time. I might not. I don't know. A lot of this is just kind of touch and go. But just check out the live tab, and probably I'll schedule something and maybe make a post about it if I decide to do it. A lot of the times I'm just kind of worried that the stream just gets a bit boring if I'm just really just farming for artifacts. But yeah, a lot of lore stuff discussions. Anyways, good luck with your pulls if anybody's pulling. And I'll see you in the next stream and the next video. Bye bye.